Hello, hello, hello. We have a secret. Can you keep it? No, but for real, if in your pocket, taking it on to the grave. But if you have read the description, you already know the secret. But the funny thing is, we already like filmed the interview, so that's why we're so like hyped and excited because we have been knocking it out of the park. If I do say so myself, Aaron has like the best like questions. We have really been getting these interviews lined up. We are trying to basically kind of talk to everyone from Summer House Martha's Vineyard because we just love the show.
Pretty much, aside from like Bria.
We haven't done enough girls yet. We're trying to get the girls on because they are very busy. Okay, they are money making women, but obviously they are all down to come on. So it's just a matter of scheduling. So we really hope that you're watching the show and you're also listening to the podcast or watching the podcast because it is a fun time. Because obviously we just love the show and we want
we're doing
to
our
enjoy
big
it.
one.
We're doing our big one for real. And then we also had to get on here and rap a little bit before we give you that interview about some things that's going on in the Bravo world because it would be remiss of us not to talk about these things and give our thoughts about these things.
Specifically, let's just jump right in, y'all.
Yeah.
The Potomac. I want to start with the Potomac reunion.
Okay.
I would really say this is the Candace and Giselle reunion. That was like the main focus and everything. We also found out some news when it comes to Mia and this guy that she's with, and she's all the way in. I want to say that was the most interesting part, in my opinion.
That was the most interesting part. And I also want to commend both Mia and Gordon for having these conversations on camera. And I have always said she may lie a little bit, but she also tells the truth a lot. Like the conversation about his mental health, the conversation about her relationship with, the radio DJ, the radio personality. Yeah. All of these things are not hard to disclose, but especially that conversation about mental health and how she is going to stay in his life and make sure that Gordon is okay. In the Black community, it is so easy to, just tuck it under the rug or not get a diagnosis or ignore it or just act like it's like...
I will say he's better than me.
Yeah, and to tell everyone about this and...
Because there's no way I could be friends with you after you don't play with me like this.
Yeah, but I was talking about the mental health thing. Oh. But the bipolar 1 disorder. But yeah, that too. I am just kind of glad though because Mia needs as much peace as Mia can get because she is in a crazy situation. Like you go from being a wife to someone who I think that she thought, whether she admits it or not, that she thought that he had a bunch of money, and all of a sudden, like now it's time for that in sickness and in health. And not only that, it's time for that richer for poorer too. And you're trying to be on a franchise that, frankly, needs little work. But the good thing about it is that she's a good foundation right now to build off of. Now that we have some of these firings, I think some more firings will come. And then Candace wasn't fired. She decided to get off of the show because she, which is part of the news, is pregnant.
She is pregnant. And I'm so happy for her. I'm really happy that she decided to leave this environment because it was just becoming really toxic, just like the back and forth nonstop. And I really suspected that the next season would have been the same way had she stayed on. And that's no place you want to carry a baby and do all that stuff. She needs to take time for herself and really enjoy the pregnancy, the motherhood, and all that comes with that.
Yeah, and I want her to have a completely stress-free, feet up just taking cute pictures, worrying about being a mama, pregnancy. Well, I hope she is just somewhere with her feet up watching Vanderpump Rules, because she watches Vanderpump Rules now, and I actually would really like to get her thoughts on Vanderpump Rules. So let us know if y'all want us to ask Candace to come on. Obviously we'll naturally ask her a little bit about Potomac and be very clear that we have talked our little shit about everybody as we do. Okay. But we really come around on Candace a lot, especially this season.
Because I'll be honest, I done talked a lot of shit.
I
talked a
but
lot.
We're just going to be honest. Especially both of us. We was talking. We was anyway. Point is if she's down to come and chat with us, we would absolutely love it, and that we really came around on her in general. It was always about the show, never about her personally, and we just really see what she was meaning to, because Giselle did not want any kind of resolution with her at all. It was just this season was just like an eye-opening.
I need her to get fired.
Thing. Oh, you want Giselle going too?
Oh, absolutely. If Robin's gonna, and you remember me saying this, I felt like Robin, if anything, brought something to this season. So I really was surprised to hear that she got fired. But honestly, that shit that she pulled on that Patreon, I was like, okay. I mean, I feel like that definitely played a part in it. But then
it's also Juan not showing up for her and getting mad every single time she tried to talk to her. So it's like, if y'all are not going to cooperate and you're also going to play in our face, you got to go.
But what is Giselle really bringing? Because I know that Grace is going to college. I know that much. And I'm really excited for that. And congratulations to her. But aside from that.
Well, it's not even that anymore. She's already gone off. And she's not going to show us her real dating life if she is still dating Jamal or if she's not dating. What they are going to keep her on for is, I believe, is conflict with Karen. I think that's
Karen already has enough conflict.
Yeah, but I don't think that everyone. I think Mia will be like, Karen, was you driving that car? But I think that they really want someone who's going to get in her ass about it.
If they play this smart, they can make this an arc for Ashley, Darby, and Karen, and they can leave Giselle out. Because I honestly think that Ashley Darby is fully capable of doing that herself.
Oh, she absolutely is. Yeah. Because she came in, she's been carrying, I know that this might not have been her best season, but it's because we're so used to her.
And then if they bring Charisse in as a friend of, because one thing about Charisse, I know you're going to make that stink face, but when it comes to something like this will wake Charisse the fuck up. This will be like, oh, let me put on my house shoes and let me come to the taping and let me tell her ass.
Put on my wedges and really start
and really see what's going on, because it's like we don't really need Giselle anymore. And I honestly kind of feel like since Robin is gone, I really just don't need it. I don't. I wanted Robin to be by herself, if anything.
Okay, yeah, but it wasn't they wasn't gonna be able to do that.
I see.
So I don't know. They haven't announced whether or not anyone else is who's definitely returning though. They haven't announced that, unlike on Atlanta. Yeah. So right now we're also hearing that Nneka
gone.
Allegedly. Did she say anything? Because I know that Robin made her exit statement. Candace made her exit statement, but I didn't hear
I didn't see
if Nneka said anything. I just saw that it was the Jasmine brand, I believe, broke that story. And they said that Nneka would not be returning, allegedly. That whole thing with her and Wendy, it just made me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about Osu at all. If they don't want to talk about it, I definitely don't want to talk about it. So that will not be discussed. I just hope in some way, shape, or form, we can get some people on Potomac that are genuinely friends. And I think that will solve our problem. Mm-hmm. That actually really go back and will really be willing to come to each other's defenses, because I also don't want to be now Wendy versus everybody. You know, like it's just not fun.
Right.
Like, I want more interesting dynamics. So
they're gonna have to get rid of a lot of people. I'll say that.
Okay, well, what will you say? Who do you want to come back from this cast?
Honestly, I feel like if Robin's gone, if Candace is gone, um, where and then I don't know. Karen, because I just want to see the aftermath. I want to see where her head is at right now. Definitely Mia.
I wanted to bring on Kiarna.
That's all I got.
Oh, so Kieran and damn.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like,
I mean,
and I love the
is.
rest of the ladies. I love Ashley Darby Down. I love Wendy Down, but it's like I don't. They're not doing anything for me right now for me to be like stick around. Honestly, and Giselle, like I said, child, this like I'm done. I'm completely done.
Damn.
Disregard it.
Okay, so then let's do our, well, unless you have more thoughts about reunion, I was gonna say let's do our MVP and LVP.
No, I don't have no thoughts on that. I don't have no thoughts on that. Especially after that news. I was like, Candace leaving. Like, girl. But then once she dropped the pregnancy announcement, I was like,
Made
okay,
sense.
this
And then
makes
also
sense.
what made sense, and I know this is controversial, but Candace revealed in the same interview that she revealed that she was pregnant, that she was asked by producers to kind of just chill out a little bit more, which is why we didn't really see her going with the ladies. Like we know that Candace is a word assassin. She could have really like read everybody motherfucking down, but she was asked to kind of hold back. And a lot of people are like, why would they ask Candace to hold back? That's not fair. That's not fair. I'm like, I understand in one sense it's not fair, but in the other, you got to see how Giselle was with her. And now we're all looking at, well, if you weren't already, you're all looking at Giselle like, what is your problem?
I'm seeing a lot of mixed reviews. Some people are just, unless it's Giselle's fan pages, child. But some people are vouching for Giselle. Some people are vouching for Candace. Me personally, I'm gonna go with Candace just because I feel like I feel like it's right. You can't be accusing people of just certain things over and over again and not taking any accountability and responsibility and continuing to sit on the show with green eyes.
And it's like, if Candace really like, was full 100% Candace, she probably would have said something to make it like, like she did the last reunion. Oh, everyone is paying attention to her comments about her saying white looking ass, but no one is paying attention to anyone else's, whatever anyone else said. So when you have that kind of personality, sometimes you do dull it a little bit just so people can see that you're not always in the wrong. Now, is she in the right all the time? No,
absolutely
especially
not.
Yeah, I disagree about some things, but with this, we really got to see like Candace was really not the problem this season. So, okay, MVP for me, Mia, hands down.
Yeah, absolutely. Same.
LVP, I'm sorry, NECA. I know you knew, but NECA and Robin. I know that you think that Robin gave, more than she usually does, but it's bare minimum.
NECA and Giselle for me. NECA and Giselle for me, hands down. I really don't even want to bring NECA into it. Honestly, Giselle to me. Because
that's fair, because she's the OG and she's really supposed to keep this shit going.
Yeah, and it's just like that just fell flat. That was like a nasty quesadilla. That was just like
not a nasty quesadilla.
A nasty ass quesadilla. Imagine a quesadilla with no cheese, just beans and chicken. And it's cold. And they didn't even slice it. It's just whole. What would you do with that? Discard it.
It would piss me. I would call the 1-800 number.
Absolutely.
Whoever I bought it
and
from,
be like, get that shit off now.
Period.
Turn it off.
Okay, moving on to some more Bravolebritea. We just had to give y'all our thoughts on the reunion, obviously, because we didn't really touch on it because it wasn't really nothing to talk about in the first place. So, like, we'll be honest. But I do have hope for the future of Potomac. Like, I don't think that this is just like a lost cause. I don't know what to do no more. I can't watch the show no
They
more.
need
Like,
to center that shit around what Karen has going on, because I think that's more of a big deal. And it needs to be. They got in Shannon Bedora's ass. Like, and I know they're gonna get in her ass some more. They're not even done. So
yeah.
Karen, they're going to get in your ass, and they need
God,
to.
this is so humiliating.
And I love Karen to death, but they need to get in your ass. They have to. You can't. You're not just gonna clip no tree and then just like move forward like nothing
It
happened.
was emotions because Mother's Day, which is still not nowhere in
Is her
sight.
tagline gonna have anything to do with it?
I run my mouth, but that's not all I run.
Okay. Ooh. I look forward to it, guys. I look forward to seeing what y'all do, because I was like the firings and everything. I'm just sitting back and just
They ain't
watching.
playing. It was just too much going on that day. Okay. And then we got hit with, Robin leaving. We got hit with the Candace pregnancy news, which is a positive thing. And we were so happy about
But
that.
they never quite say fired either. That's the thing that I was really surprised about. It's just usually leaving.
Because Robin doesn't give a fuck. And that was her downfall. She just doesn't care too much. She doesn't care. It was in her tagline. The whole season, the whole thing. She's like, okay, well, Juan is cheating. So what now? I don't give a fuck. Like, she doesn't care.
Well, what do you do?
That's why we want accountability.
On the show. It's like
we want to see him. We want to see drama.
Never did I think I would be Team Robin. Never did I imagine that I would be Team Robin, but right now I'm just like, child, that was the least of their problems. Robin was like, this man is cheating. What do you want me to do about it?
She didn't say that, though. She said, I believe him. And then she kept right, and then we didn't see.
She knows there's gonna be problems at home.
And then we didn't see him either. Anytime we saw him a few times, but we didn't see him enough. And then anytime she would call him, he don't want to talk. Like, if your husband does not want to be filmed, you don't want to admit what's going on in your life, and you have shit else going on. It's
know what she needed? She needed like sing-alongs, like not even sing-alongs, but like this Tyler Perry stage plays.
Yeah,
where it's like something happens and it's like she just starts
bust out into a song. Yeah,
with the microphone under her like hairline.
No, I totally agree. That would have actually made me feel like she should be main flute. She should be in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think that what they did wrong this season was they tried to focus it around Wendy and NECA, and then also Robin versus Karen, when they should have been paying attention to Mia. The story was Mia this whole time. They should have brought Kiana in a lot earlier. But maybe they learn from their mistakes, and I truly believe that they can bring in some new people and shift some stuff around. So what else happened? What else happened that day? It was like 5 things that happened in the same day. And our head was spinning.
Alexia.
Oh my God.
How do you feel about Alexia?
That's what shocked me the most.
I remember.
April 15th was a day to remember. Like, okay, let me go to Real Moms of Bravo, because they had everything.
I seen the comment section and you were like,
I said, what in all
tarnation is going on with Alexia?
What the fuck was that about? Okay. Todd filed for divorce in Miami-Dade County, 305. He said that their marriage is irretrievably broken. Additionally, Alexia, she released a statement saying that she is shocked and disappointed, and her friends and family are going to help her along the way. She was completely blindsided. This broke on the 15th. He filed on April 11th. Alexia didn't even have a lawyer yet. So this is how you know that she really was blindsided by this.
Well,
People have different theories on why they broke up. A lot of people believe that Todd could not deal with Alexia, like just being like the helicopter mom that she is. Like she has a special needs child, which is understandable, but she's also a helicopter mom with her oldest child, who is he's a grown man. He's like 31. Also, Adriana had told us that Anna from Real Housewives of Miami, like the first go round, she has said that they was baroque, that there was something in the water, something in the milk ain't clean. Adriana tried to tell us that something was going on. And even during Real Housewives of Miami, y'all remember he had skipped that party. And I don't know, something was like the vibe was just off between them. But there was like a blind item. Shout out to Bravo and Cocktails. Bravo and Cocktails that literally kind of broke this in November, but I'm just like, there's no way. And when it happened, it was just like crazy because I'm like, they just had the reunion. I mean, he wasn't on the reunion, but Alexia was strongly denying that anything was wrong in the marriage. And they had just gotten married about what, 3 years ago. So it was just shocking. Like that is what shook me the most. Like I know that we had a pregnancy, we had 2 departures, we had an engagement. I think that Jen from OC got engaged to Ryan, you know, the new girl. She got engaged to Ryan, I think, if I'm not misquoting it. And then there was the first thing that came out, which was the Sheena and Katie Chili's commercial. So they had a Chili's commercial because Chili's has espresso martinis now.
Whoa.
And you would just never expect Sheena and Katie to have a commercial, especially.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you would never expect Chili's to have an espresso martini.
I wouldn't. That was going to be my second point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was going to be my second point. But I wouldn't expect them to be on the commercial, and then I especially wouldn't expect them to share that commercial. But then when this came out, babe, I'm like, get the cameras up now because they're not filming yet.
I want to ask you, do you think that the whole thing between Larsa and Marcus has something to do with Alexia? Do you think that Alexia is hooking up with Marcus Jordan?
What a crazy... No, I don't think that they are hooking up, but I think that it's crazy timing. I don't... Should I say this? Because you don't know this drama that was in between, like they was arguing at the Miami airport at the BravoCon. So the tea was that Louis, Teresa's husband, really wanted Alexia.
I remember you said that. That's why I brought up the Marcus Jordan thing, because I'm like, you know, this is all us just talking. Family. And
between you, me, and however many people listen today, you know, Teresa and Louis, they had some rumors about them breaking up, but we see that they're good because they were just at Coachella with Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift's man. So they're good for right now. But if I was Teresa, I would definitely keep an eye on Louis. I think Louis Puerto Rican, that is a Cuban Barbie. Listen, they would look good together. But he's faking.
They would. Okay, if not Louis, who would you like to see Alexia with?
Married or unmarried? Because I don't know any single men.
I think that she would look good with Joe Gorga. I think that she would.
Why was I going to say that? That's why I said married or unmarried, because I'm like, how messy are we being? I was just about to say
today. I think she would look so good with Joe Gorga. And I think they would complement each other so well, just like personality wise, because he's like very
spicy Italian and she's a spicy Latina.
She's not going to let nobody walk all over her.
Right.
And I'm not saying that Melissa Gorga lets everybody walk all over her, but I'm saying that Alexia.
I think Melissa Gorga need to go be with that baseball player she was making out with, or whatever they said.
Oh,
Like we being messy.
I would like to see that. Maybe that would make me a little bit more
And then
like.
Joe Gorga could go with Alexia and see we can really get this shit started. Because I heard that they filmed 2 different versions of Real Housewives of New Jersey, and Andy don't like that. He's saying next season something gotta give. So we'll see how this season play out. It's about to start. But he said that it is just not Glorilla got arrested.
No.
What the fuck? Arrested for a DUI. See, I don't understand
Why
when
do
rich
y'all
people
get so
drink
pissy?
and drive.
Why do y'all get? Is it the goddamn Belvedere that gets y'all so pissy? Like, what is it about just getting pissy and being like, yeah, let me drive this car? Like, no.
And especially because y'all be driving like nice ass cars.
And I
Do you
literally
not
see
give a fuck?
it happens frequently. Like people
Too
will get
much.
drunk and they like, let me get in the car. Like,
And they insist.
why?
Like I have had to physically restrain and beat
No,
people's
I got
ass
it.
because they're like, no, I like falling on the way
I'm
to the
gonna
car.
drive my ass home, and it's like your eyes are literally you can't even open them,
Exactly.
and you're swaying.
You're using the fucking house key to try to start the car, and you're gonna drive home.
Exactly. And I would never be a drunk driver. What I will say, however, though, is that little step test that they take. I swear I can do that shit.
Refuse that.
I
You
swear
take
I could
it?
do that. Yeah, I could take that shit at my
The
drunkest.
field sobriety.
At my drunkest.
At your drunkest, you
And
think
I
you
don't
could
want. And I
walk
don't want to
in a
challenge
straight
anybody.
line?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right.
And
Kendrick, if you're listening, remember this. When we take our trip, we gonna have a field sobriety test because we're not gonna be. None of us is driving.
literally, all of us need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like Kendrick is gonna fall. I love you, friend, but I feel like you're gonna fall. I feel like you're gonna fall.
How about me? What do you think about me? You think I'm just
I feel like you will make do. I feel like you will make do because we just have that personality that is like
the thing about
you
me
can't
though,
tell me.
I'll be able to do it, but I'm gonna need total silence. Like no one can even be breathing.
Laugh. No laughing, no nothing.
No laughing.
Just let
nothing.
me go through it.
Just straight.
And I'm gonna need to have my earpods in so I can play that song
I
running up the hill.
Allow you. Which song?
Good, make a deal with good. I know that I can do it. Because that song makes me so serious. I'm just like, yeah.
It's your version of my Florence and the Machine. The run fast,
Exactly.
Okay, so then the last thing that came out on that day was that Crystal is leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You are such a fucking asshole. Okay, on a scale of 1 to like I don't even know what to say. On a scale of 1 to 10, how and I feel like I can guess it. How devastated are you? Okay, you're not devastated. You clapping?
No, I'm just kidding, guys.
You're like we clapping, like Beyonce.
My thing is,
we stopping.
Crystal. I'm not. It's like I don't feel like she did better this season. I will say, I like
That's
Crystal.
my problem.
I like Crystal, but if you feel you gotta go, babe. See you later.
Okay.
No bars.
And that's the show. That's the show.
If you feel like you gotta go, you gotta go. You know who I do want to see come back though? I'm not gonna lie, I kinda want to see Anne Marie come back. If Crystal's leaving, I want to see Anne Marie come back.
That bitch can I would want them together so they could beef. Cause she already pissed me off with the Garcelle thing.
Oh yeah, well.
Like, go ahead and if you have beef with Sutton, I'm not trying to take off a Sutton, but if you have beef with Sutton, say something to Sutton. Why are you like Garcelle's trying to get her point across with a legit point of Dorit not learning anything, and then her stupid ass comes chiming in. Well,
Or
when
maybe
no,
this will be a
no.
good time for Taylor Armstrong to come back.
It could be.
Because I want to say, I love to say Kim Richards, but y'all always say, she not ready. She not ready. So I won't be saying Kim Richards this time. But
You learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson because every time I say, I'm like, and they like, she not, no, she can't do it because she not ready. She not ready to be on TV no more. She not like that no more.
She's not ready to be on TV no more. Are you sure you didn't watch the new Good Times? Because what?
That's what they say. I'm telling you, like, I can't even get her full name out. And I'm just like, okay, fine. No Kim Richards, got it. Either Denise Richards or Taylor Armstrong. Now, I would like to say Denise Richards because it would activate Erica, and I feel like it would be a good season. But if Denise don't want to do
Especially
that
if she's
shit,
as drunk as she was at that
because
dinner.
Denise be making out with them
I kissed the girl in my life.
like the stunt dolls on the soap opera. So, oh, which by the way, I gotta tell y'all something, and this is all allegedly because I can't
The
confirm it
black
now.
soap opera that's coming?
No,
Oh, just
there's a
kidding.
bunch.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, okay. Well, before you get to
What did
into
Tyler
that,
Perry make it?
no. The person there's a woman, there's a black showrunner of The Bold and the Beautiful. And you know, this is actually Bravo adjacent because the talk how sad are you that the talk got canceled? Exactly. So Jerry O'Connor, I'm sorry, baby, but when they started putting men's on the talk, I was like, okay.
My thing is, what the
didn't
hell
watch it
is
before,
Cheryl
but-
Underwood gonna do? That's my only question because I love me some Cheryl Underwood.
Like,
Let me tell you
she's
something
funny.
about
She should go on
Cheryl
tour.
Underwood. Will literally follow anybody on Twitter. Cheryl Underwood follows me on Twitter.
I believe it. She follows us on fucking Threads too.
And she does not care. And that's what I love about Cheryl Underwood. Because
She's a people's person.
she's real as fuck. And when people was talking shit about her, the queens of comedy, all y'all can really go to hell. Because the way y'all talked about that lady like a damn dog, and then she found out that she overheard it on the phone, and y'all really denied that shit in her face on the show, and then y'all tried to be buddy with her and get on the talk. I thought that was nasty work.
Ooh, really get to it.
But
so yeah, the showrunner of The Bold and the Beautiful announced that there will be a black soap opera coming 2025 called The Gates. And I'm assuming since the talk got canceled, the last episode will be in December, that The Gates will start in January. And I really want to be a part of the promotion or even a part of the show. Shit, listen, I could run me some lines.
Like, listen,
run me some lines.
Because I wanted to tell y'all too.
I could be the black Nicki Newman.
I would like to be the black Sonny Corinthos.
Okay.
So if y'all are looking for that, then yes.
You do it. We're manifesting. But we genuinely like dead ass because we cover more than that. And then I watch The Young and the Restless and The Bold and Beautiful every day, literally. So especially this is historic. It's gonna be like the first in over like 30 years or something like that there's going to be a black soap opera that's going to come on Monday through Friday. I'm not going to say that we're going to cover it, but we would love to be a part of it, be part of the promotion, marketing, and
I hope it's something like Haves and Have-Nots because I love the Haves and Have-Nots.
Being good, and especially because she has that experience with The Bold and the Beautiful, and it's a good show. We already know out the gates. Get it out the gates. It's going to be a good show. So tell me what you were trying to announce that you heard. Is it Tyler Perry related or what?
It is Tyler Perry related. Because I've seen Tyler Perry's name on the script, and I'm not going to tell y'all who because I don't want to mess up any opportunities that they possibly might have because, you know, sometimes we get excited and we just be posting shit. So I'm not going to say who, but I will say that it is somebody that's black on Bravo. and somebody that
Garcelle?
we enjoy.
Is it Garcelle? Is
No,
it
it's not
Fancy?
Garcelle. I can't tell you who it is because I don't want to mess it up. Like I said, just stay
Damn.
tuned and
If
wait.
we didn't have that interview, I'll go through every single
But it's
Black
somebody
person
black
that's
and
ever
it's
been
somebody
on
that we
Bravo.
love. And it's
Okay,
somebody
so they
that
have a
got
script.
somebody that got a lot of shit this year. Don't say it.
Okay. So they're supposed to be starring in this film, or like what is
I don't
it?
know if they're starring in it, but they're gonna have a role because I seen the script and I seen the person reading the script.
Amazing.
So
We
I don't
can't
know
wait.
what y'all gonna do, but I don't know what y'all will do with that information. But like I said, I'm definitely not gonna tell because I know I get excited and I start posting shit, and I don't want to say it, and then they go back and they tell it, and then the person be like, "Well, never mind, because you've been running your mouth, so now I can't even have you a part of my." But like, I don't want that.
Screaming.
So if you guys realize who it is with just info, because this will be out. Oh, this will be out Saturday. So by that time, the story gonna be gone. So do what you will with that. If you've seen it, you've seen
So
it.
perfect. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'll tell you
And
off the
I hope
camera so you'll know who it is.
I'll
I
ask
have a
anyway. You don't
feeling you
have to
kind of
tell
know.
me. You don't have to. I was going to ask you anyway. So
Okay.
that's the thing.
Okay.
One thing about me, I'm asked. Okay.
Well, guys, what do you think about the? That's going to be the pot stir. What do you think about the firings from Housewives of Potomac? What do you feel will be the fate of Housewives of Potomac? And ideally, what would your new Potomac cast be for the newest season? That's what I
Cast
want
someone
to
to
know.
Potomac. Yeah, for sure. Let us know, y'all, and
Yes.
please enjoy this interview that we have coming with Amir. It was such a fun interview to have. He really went out of his way to stay with us like the full hour and answered all of our questions. And it was like just some really good insight on the dynamics of the house, how everything came together. And thank you again for Jordan, Preston, Nick for coming on. We are really having fun with these interviews. So we really just like appreciate you guys for listening. And we'll talk to y'all on Wednesday.
Yeah. Love y'all.
Love y'all. Bye. Hey, what's up? It's Bravo. We're black and we're back and we're black and back. And we have Amir from Summer House Martha's Vineyard. He is literally a real estate agent. He's hilarious. He's so nice. We met him in person at BravoCon, you guys. We were kind of scared to go up to him, but like when we did, he could not be more inviting. He told us in November, he was like, I'll come on the show. Just ask me, just ask me, just ask me. And then we finally were like, you know what? The show's on. Let's ask him. And he did just that. Amir, thank you so much and welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me. I mean, outside of you, Queens of Bravo, like you guys are my two accounts that on my stories, they're right next to each other. So I follow even when you guys say some stuff where I'm like, dang, that hurt my feelings, but low key, that's funny. I always like you guys are great. No matter what you do, even if you're dragging me through the mud, I'm like,
Listen,
okay.
We are not dragging you. We're just trying to be honest, but also make you laugh. Yeah. So you know.
I want to make that clear here too, because I do get concerned with that because we now have you guys on. I'm like, please do not take it personal when we recap these episodes because we love you. You are like our second family.
Yeah, we always say
whatever you guys are saying, I know other people are thinking. So it's like that. It's like that whole white chick scene where it's like, well, you said it, but you're thinking it. Like that's what it is. So I'm not mad at it. It's just me reading it, going, okay, yeah, that's funny.
I mean, at least we tried to make it a little bit funny. Other people are in the comments like, yeah. And we just be fighting for y'all. We fight for our lives.
I truly appreciate it. I mean, y'all come to our defense more than we're able to come to our own defense.
we're
Always, and we're
allowed
so
to.
appreciative of it too. Like we finally have a Black Summer House, and this is something like since we started our podcast and we started covering Summer House, we always said we wanted a Black Summer House, like just a
Yeah,
summer house that's inclusive,
yeah,
um, representation on our end, and we finally have that now.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God, it's so good to have you here. We don't even know like where to start. I think that where because we've had Nick, we had Preston, we've had Jordan. We are trying to get as many people on as possible. We are so grateful that you guys are saying yes and making that time for us.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we just want to know like how did this whole thing even start from your point of view? Like, how did you get on Summer House?
Yeah, so from my point of view, social media is a wicked powerful thing. And I'm super glad that I started like investing into creating content and just being a goofball because that's ultimately like what connected me with Nick and connected me with the rest of the house. I ended up getting invited to the house because of Nick. We were both influencers. He was in the fashion and running space. I had a close friend. His name is Matt Choi. Sorry, Matt. Allergies. Have been kicking my
Bless you.
ass.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
fine.
but I have a friend, his name is Matt Choi. He's also a runner and he's an influencer in the runner space. And it was kind of like one of those small circle type deals. And so eventually he reached out to me. I was like, hey man, we've exchanged a couple messages, support each other online. I'm gonna be a part of this vacation, this project. Is it something that you'd be interested in? And I was like, dude, sign me up. Like this sounds great. And from there, I just met with Jasmine. Jasmine and Silas took me in and were like, we know that you really don't know anyone except for Nick. If there's anything that we can do to make you feel comfortable, please do not hesitate to reach out to it. Like just very, very them-esque, you know?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And from there, it was just kind of like everyone was great. I clicked with Preston immediately. Jordan was hot and cold with me. Bria, I instantly was like attracted to in the sense of like a sister bond. Alex was just like he felt like a cool uncle. Uh, and then yeah, it was great.
Do you remember the exact moment it clicked for you? Like you were like, I am comfortable. I can breathe now.
Shoot. I think so. It actually was an episode that wasn't aired. Not an episode, a scene that wasn't aired, but me, Silas, and Nick all went for a run. And it was it was the first morning after we had gotten there.
Mm.
And I remember I was so nervous. I was so nervous walking into the house. And I had been waiting so long at the airport that I went to a bar and was ripping shots with locals. And by the time I got to the house, I was blitzed, but it was intentional because I was like, I need to make sure that I'm as friendly and like outgoing as possible because everyone in this house needs to love me. And then when I walk in the house, we're taking tequila shots from a mug. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is absolutely absurd. Who does this? And I wake up the next morning and Nick's like, hey, 6 a.m. run. And Silas is like, yeah, 6 a.m. run. And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking be there. Yeah, but I'm hammered. And we went on this run. I threw up 4 times. And then they just gave me this talk of like, hey man, you've been in the house for all of but like 8 hours. And we just want to let you know we think you're cool. Everyone thinks you're cool. No one said it to your face yet, but like you are welcome in this space. So we just want you to be you. And after I threw up one more time, I was like, okay, now I can be myself.
Sometimes you just got to get it out. I
You
feel
gotta get
that
it out. Yeah.
Exactly.
it's happened to me. So, first season, did you naturally like take to the cameras? Was that something that you had to adjust to, or what was it like?
It was it was an adjustment, but also not an adjustment at the same time because I'd been creating content for a little over 2 years at that point. So I was familiar with the idea of I'm being filmed while doing things because of my phone, but you really don't comprehend just how big these cameras are and how close they actually are to you. Like I watch TV and I'm like, oh, surely that camera's like 10 yards away and just has great zoom. No, that motherfucker's right there, like right there. And so
No.
it was an adjustment in that aspect. And it even like left a little bit of PTSD when I finished filming for the first season. Like I always felt like there was someone over my shoulder or like I had dreams waking up to like the camera in my face because that's how you'd wake up is it'd be Will, one of the camera guys, is going, "Morning, Amir," and you just wake up and be like, "Morning, Will." Okay.
Big Brother is watching you.
Is it really like that though? That's crazy. I
It's
would at
really
least, I would think that they would give you a little bit of time to get ready, like brush your teeth, like
sometimes they do,
you
but
know.
sometimes they also want to be able to film that like natural, like
Mm,
how you are in the morning. So what's been wild to see on online is like how people are saying like it's scripted, everything is like staged and all these things. And I'm like, yo, I wish that was the case. I wish that I had like had the opportunity to take my do-rag off, brush my teeth, wash my face, put on deodorant, and then pretend like I'm waking up. That would be awesome.
Like, Get Ready With Me. That's what
You
I
know,
always think about when I'm watching like Get Ready With Me. Or even if I want to do one, I'm like, how are you people doing Get Ready With Me? And then in my mind, it's like, no, you literally have to set the camera up
yeah.
yeah.
and then pretend that you're waking up. I don't know how long it took me to like
See,
realize
I
that.
just skipped that whole part. Like you and I obviously understand that I am out of bed. I am not going to make a fool of myself by getting back into the bed. That just makes no sense.
Oh my gosh. I
Okay,
didn't.
so first season, you are there, but did you know that it was going to be like a summer house, or was it just like a working title type beat? Like, did you even?
I didn't even know the title that it was going to be Summer House. For a while, like what we were told is like the premise of the show is based on Summer House Hamptons, but like we are going to be a completely different thing from what they offer. So it's like we can't even really call it Summer House. And I was like, wow, okay, what are we gonna call it? And then I think it was some time later, they're like, guess what? It's called Summer House Martha's Vineyard. I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
Did you watch Summer House before, like, or were you just aware of it, or were you not aware of it at all?
I had watched it just because prior to coming in the house, I was kind of like, what is this going to entail? Like, I just wanted to have an idea. And then I also was interested in it, like to a certain extent. And so it was kind of like, okay, there's a potential that these worlds could collide. I at least want to have an idea of who I would be potentially meeting to. Granted, our worlds never collided until it came to like BravoCon, Watch What Happens Live, different other Bravo things. But
Mm.
I love this Summer House, like Summer House Hamptons. I thought it was hilarious for a while, and then they just did a shakeup, and I think it's great again.
Yeah.
Would
Oh my
you?
God, we got to get into you and your hang session with Wes that everyone was talking
Oh, dude,
about. That was
that was a
that
vibe.
looked so fun.
That's my dog now. That's my dog.
That
I can
brings me
tell,
to
like
my
when.
next question too.
Mhm.
I wanted to know, like, would you ever do a winter house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do Winter House. Honestly, I'd go so far with the people that I've met a part of Bravo. I would go wherever they tell me to go so far.
Hmm.
So Winter House, Summer House, Southern Charm. I'm not too keen on the Southern hospitality folks. There's a couple people that I met, but I exchanged like hellos, like cordials. Um, but the Southern Charm cast, vibed out with them at BravoCon. I would totally get weird with Bradley. Um, but
Joe Bradley. Oh my God. And
Hmm.
regular Bradley and
and
then
regular
Joe
Bradley.
Bradley.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Regular Bradley, that's our homeboy. I don't know when we're going to have him on, probably for the next season.
Okay.
Um, but that would be dope to see you, him, and Wes maybe like in a winter
That's
house. Because like if there's any time to get a winter house up and started, it's now because the people
exactly.
are like loving you guys. You, Wes, um, Jesse Solomon, which I don't know, I never trust a man with two first names, but he's been hilarious so far, and I really admire how he talks about his health conditions and
Yeah.
things like that. So it's been amazing, obviously, to watch. So
I
you
think the
are based
bromance
in
would go crazy.
Texas. And you live in Texas. What was your life? I mean, you were a content creator, but were you doing real estate?
Yeah, I was doing real estate beforehand. When I graduated from college, I actually went into corporate sales. So I went to Texas State University, and then I just knew that I,
TSU.
yeah, there you go, eat them up. And I knew I
Sorry.
didn't want to go back to Dallas. That's where I'm originally from. And I was like, okay, I got to find my fit in the world. So I moved to Chicago, lived there for a little bit. Then I moved to Houston, lived there for a little bit. And I just didn't really like both places. It was a little too far from home, didn't really know anyone. And then
Mhm.
eventually he was like, the last place I haven't given a fair shake is Austin. Started working in Austin doing corporate sales, and then was like, dude, I love it here. I never want to leave. I want to build a community here. Started creating social media content, quit my job to pursue content and like modeling full time, and then got an opportunity to do real estate and started excelling at it, quicker than most.
And what got
Hell
you
yeah.
into real estate? Was it like, were you an HGTV fanatic? Because I know I am.
I wish that was the case, and I would love to have like my own spinoff of something like that. But what got me into real estate was
Possible.
more I was a fresh young face in the industry, and I had a lot of connections because of social media, because of how outgoing I was. And
Mhm.
so as I started to like explore the industry and my friends were like, "Oh yeah, I'm buying or renting a home." I was like, "Yo, I can help you do that. Like I've got the downtime. I might as well get my license and help my friends do it." And the second I got my license, it was just like everyone flooded me. It was like, "I need to buy a home. I want to rent a home. I want to sell a home." And I was like, I can help everyone. Let's get it taken
Hell
care of.
yeah. Hell yeah. Do you watch Selling Sunset?
Yeah, I watched Selling Sunset, Buying Beverly Hills, OC. I watch it all.
That's amazing. OC is
Look
coming
at
up.
Kaya. She's like,
Yo,
this
because I
is her
love
shit.
no, I love Selling Sunset.
It's good.
So
It's really
I
good.
ask anyone who does anything with like real estate, I'm like, do you watch Selling Sunset? Most of the time is no, but when people say yes, I'm like, yeah, they're legit. Because it's how can you sell homes and you don't watch Selling Sunset? I'm sorry, like,
I mean, those are the people that a lot of agents aspire to be, minus the drama. So
but do you? Okay, so a lot of people are like, they're not real agents. They don't really sell these houses. Do
yeah,
you think that the Oppenheim Group is like legit? Like, do you think they are agents or are
yeah.
they just like TV agents?
No, I think some of them are TV agents. Some of them I think they are real estate agents. They do have a license and all of these credible things. They might have been a part of some transactions. Um, do I think a majority of them are like full time? This is my lifeblood. This is what like, I survive on. No. But I think most of them, or I think a majority do have a license and do practice real estate to the point where they can hopefully do it efficiently.
Do you think that you could sell that $75 million house?
Oh, easily.
Hey, Jason, listen,
Easily.
Jason and Brett, Short Kings, you got like someone here that can sell the 75 mil house.
Easily.
So easily.
I would like to
But
see it.
Me
yeah,
too.
because that house was sitting there for so long. And that was like my only question. And everyone keeps asking, did they sell the $75 million house? It's like, girl, the reunion, they said no. So I don't know.
Right.
So, what are your tips for like young people who actually want to own a home? Like, because we're in a different generation. Our parents and our parents before that, they get a house for like out of pocket money.
Five
Yeah.
dollars.
This is like, you gotta do a lot of things to even own a home to the point where we're kind of like turned off into home owning and home buying. Like, what would be some advice that you would give like someone who eventually wants to put roots down?
Yeah, the last thing that I want to do is give that ignorant advice of like stop drinking your coffees, doing that stuff. That's not real. Like that's not practical. And I hate when people preach that, especially other agents are like, if you were to not go out to dinner 3 times a week, you would have enough money in 2 years. And I'm like, dude, I would rather be happy for that 2 years. I would say the biggest thing is invest in new construction. A lot of the new construction communities, while they are entry level homes and they do have some problems in the sense of their cookie cutter, they offer a ton of great incentives for people who, might have bad credit, might not have the best income to get into a home with little to no money. So that's one avenue. Another avenue is if you are someone who is needing your parents to sign or a relative to co-sign on an apartment lease. A lot of people don't know this, but you can also get that same relative to co-sign on a loan for a home. So if
Oh
they're
shit.
if they're already doing that and you already have the cash or they're going to gift you the cash or whatever it might be, and they want to help you break that generational kind of curse of maybe not owning a home young, they can step in and be that figure to help you stop it right then and there versus renting for another 10 years, seeing the market go crazy. And then now you're completely priced out of not only living in a city that you love, but affording a house that you want.
Oh my God. Like, I didn't even know that the same person who could co-lease for an apartment could co-lease for a home. So that is
Yeah.
definitely like a hack. I mean, it sounds like one of those
I've had
TikTok,
I've
you
had
know,
clients that are
tips.
wanting to be able to buy homes and, they make good income, but they don't make enough income to
Mhm.
qualify for the home, or they just got into their jobs. And the way that we've gotten into a home so that way they can start building their own wealth is their parents were like, yo, I'll co-sign. I know that you're going to pay your mortgage. I can refinance. You can refinance me off of it eventually. Like, and so it's a big hack that a lot of people don't know about, but it takes parents who are in a position where they can also qualify to be on that home with you.
That's hella dope. Well, that you heard it here first, you guys. So
Mhm.
if y'all get a house, invite us. We gonna bring some home goods and some Marshalls gift cards to y'all.
Yes.
So first season, we're going back to Summer House. You were very open with you are obviously biracial.
Yep.
And you were excited that you get to be around like obviously you have been around Black people before, but I'm saying like you get to take this time and like this important place that means so much for Black people and immerse yourself into Black culture and bond with these people who are just so open and good people to be around.
Yeah.
So how was that experience in season 1, and is it more comfortable now that you're in a new season? Because I definitely caught that they were kind of quizzing you on like Black movies and things like that, and even some of them I haven't seen, so I was just like, woo. But yeah, how's that whole experience and opening up about that?
That experience I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. It was rough just because anytime that you're vulnerable in the sense of expressing your identity or expressing something that might make you seem weaker, typically people tend to lean into that, especially if you try and come off as like a strong, confident person. People kind of want to be like, okay, we found the chink in your armor, we got it. Now we're just gonna like ruin you. So it was hard for a while, especially when the show first came out. I had to basically get off social media because it was just me being dragged through the mud. And then eventually, a couple of not comments, but messages started trickling in of parents and who are raising a biracial child or someone who grew up Lebanese or Black or whatever it was. And it was just like that, hey, I know it might be hard, but I really appreciate you sharing that story because it resonates a lot with my identity. I'm half white, half Lebanese, or I'm from Nigeria, but I am not like attached to my roots at all. Different things. And so I was like, okay, yes, I was a martyr in that sense, but at the same time, like the lives that I changed by sharing my story and letting other people know that, hey, there is someone in a celebrity space who also goes through the same things that I do. It made me feel good and it made them feel like I'm someone who's relatable. And that's all I never want to be the person who's out of reach or out of touch. And so the fact that that was what brought people in and was like, hey, we can relate to you. I was like, perfect. I know I'm right where I need to be then.
That's so good to know, and you definitely I mean, getting on TV or putting yourself in a position to be picked at is hard enough, but especially when you share something that intimate and just are straight up honest about it, because a lot of people will get on TV and they'll like just try to act
Yeah.
like something that they're not, and you were just straight up honest about it. And then that also gave you something to bond kind of like with the cast about too.
Yeah.
And they get like it seemed like they really took you in. And do you feel any more connected to your roots from that experience?
Yeah, I feel way more connected with my roots. And it's not even the sense of like I'm making an effort to explore more Blackness. It's more of like who I am is already Black and I have
Yeah.
pride in that, right? So there's a lot of things that I didn't know about myself that make a lot of sense when I'm around the Black community and my Black friends. And I'm just like, oh shit, like this entire time I was thinking that I'm not Black. And in reality, like Black comes in very different shades, sizes, gender, like has so many forms. And so that's also what the show is supposed to show is like, there's
Yep.
like 4 different shades of black on our show, right? And
Yep.
so like that's what being black and being excellent and being powerful and strong is. It doesn't matter who you are, it's a matter of how you own it. And for a while I was scared to own it because I didn't think that I fit the bill. And now I know, yo, I fit the bill just by being the shade.
Exactly. Like you can't change who you are, what you are, and you were
Yeah.
never trying to deny it. You're open and honest. And obviously, if you could even touch, like, just like we say with this podcast, if we can just make one person laugh for 1 hour a week, if we can touch one person, that's all that really like matters. And you have resonated with a lot of people. So that's good to hear. And
Yeah.
obviously, like, ignore the haters because
Thank
they're
you.
haters.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I want to know too. So it seems like y'all were having a movie night, possibly. Are there any black
yeah.
movies?
Season 1?
Yeah, season
Yeah.
1, and I want to say even season 2. Didn't y'all have a similar conversation?
We had
Like,
conversations about movies to check in because they actually gave me a notes page to go back home and watch
yes,
like a lot of historically black famous movies. And I got through some of them. I didn't get through all of them because some of them I was just like, I get it. It's for the culture, but at the same time, like it's such an old movie that I'm not enjoying watching it. And so my favorite one that I watched was Love and Basketball. I love Love and Basketball,
great.
and I watch it any moment I can. Like if it's on Netflix and I'm sitting at home, I'm like, all right, that's my background noise.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I feel like that's always in so like when you bring up top 3 black movies, or well, I'll say top 5.
Top
Love and
5.
Basketball is usually in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
What about
being
you,
quiet.
Kaya?
No, it's me being quiet because I
What
haven't
about you?
seen
Have
that
you
one
ever
yet.
seen Love and Basketball before?
Anyways, this is not my interview, so that's none of your business. Let's get back.
She has more important things to do.
Martha's
We'll
Vineyard,
attack her later, guys.
right? Because we did our top 4. Ooh, should we do that to Amir literally right now?
Yeah, like literally right now.
Okay,
Right.
Letterboxd. I don't know if you know that website. It's called Letterboxd, and it's for movie buffs and movie people who just love movies in general. It's like a social media website.
Okay.
And what they do is on the red carpet, they go up to all these famous people and on the spot, like these are people who are real thespians. Like they're not just on movies, they're on plays and everything, like Jeremy Strong, like Angela Bassett. And they're just like, what are your top 4 movies right now?
My top
Top 4.
Top 4. Top 4, White Chicks, Love and Basketball. I would say Gone Girl, which it's wild, but I love that movie. And then Black Panther. I'm a big like Marvel DC guy, so anything that comes out.
Same.
I really like the fact that they put Michael B. Jordan in it. So that was like low key the reason that I'm a big Black Panther fan.
Yeah.
Michael B. is like, that's the man that when I look across the mirror, I'm like, that's you. You are him. You're gonna beat him today.
When I look in the mirror, that is my man. So,
Yeah.
So that was a good, well-rounded top 4. Most people panic and they want to go back and be like, "Oh, I didn't say this movie. I didn't say that movie." Yeah, because we did it to each other. So that's a really good top 4. So, okay, what are 5 things that you always have to have when you are going into the summer house that you like wouldn't think that you need to bring?
Top 5 things. I need to have a Hydro Flask because the amount of dishes that this house goes through, like you never really know what's clean or dirty. So I know if I can always have like my cup, I'm not going to be like poisoned or drinking something that's spoiled. The next thing that I got to have is deodorant because summer, like on the Vineyard, it is humid, it is hot, and it'll get to you. The third thing, I would say like liquid IVs or some type of hydration drink because all we do is drink like pure 24/7, like sunrise to sunset, especially if like you have a day with like Shanice or Bria or like anytime you're hanging out with the girls or Preston, like you can expect that from sunrise to sunset, you're drinking.
Amazing.
Number 4, I would say like I'm bringing it back from Austin to there.
Yeah.
I didn't do it last season, but this season I want to do it. If there is a season 3,
There is.
I want to bring a brisket.
Fair enough.
A brisket, yeah. I would love to bring a brisket, so that way I've got like fresh Texas barbecue on the vineyard.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's
Like, but whole brisket or shredded?
nah, just like a whole brisket, and just toss it in the oven with the crew, and just kind of like it's already cooked, it's already everything, and she's heated. That would go crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I
feel
mean,
like- yeah.
okay, because y'all do eat a lot of seafood. Y'all are like arguing with crab legs, and I'm like, wow, I hope that's my
I
summer.
don't do seafood. I don't like lobster rolls or crab legs. Like I like grilled lobster. I like anything that has a smoky flavor to it. But like the first night that we had the tails and tails, I didn't have a single piece of lobster. I was not vibing.
So that makes sense why you would bring a brisket. So what's the last thing that you would bring?
The last thing that I'm bringing from Texas, it's probably like some sour candy. Because I snack a lot. Like that's my late night guilty pleasure is like I'll just rip candy until I can fall asleep.
Oh my God, you just reminded me because I was doing my solo episode before this, and I got to talk to the people. For you guys who listen to Bravo, I'm Black. I know that it's not all y'all. So just fast forward like 5 minutes. I was telling you about when I was hanging out with this dude, and he is a gym bro. So I was telling you guys how I fucking hated that. Like for 3 days straight, we hung out, and this nigga ate Chipotle. And every single day, and I did not understand it. Every time it's chicken and rice. It's double chicken and rice, and then egg whites. And his house smelled just like egg whites, and I could not stand it.
Oh no!
What I was trying to tell you guys was, I don't know. Like gym people are weird. Like all he ate was like egg whites, rice, and chicken. And like it was 3 days that I was hanging around him straight. This just happened. So then I was like, oh, I wonder if he's going to get anything like sweet to eat. He had gummy bears. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like just regular Haribo gummy bears. But then he was telling me, and this is what I wanted to tell you guys that I forgot to tell you guys on the solo episode, is that he was explaining to me that it has something to do with the recovery after you work out that you're supposed to eat gummy bears. And I couldn't get, it was like on the tip of my tongue. It was a Haribo gummy bears. So I don't know if you guys work out. So if you work out and you eat gummy bears after, I don't know, it helps your body in some kind of way. And that's what I just wanted to say.
Next time I go see my physician and he's like, yeah, you're hashtag like pre-diabetic, I'm gonna be like, Bravo, I'm Black, told me
please.
Wait. No, but if you look it up, like I have the article too. It says like something about glycogen is depleted after a tough workout. So these carbs are necessary. And it should be paired with a quality protein source. So that's why he was just like eating shredded chicken from Chipotle.
Oh, so chicken and gummy bears.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't eat that shit. I was like, I'm going Taco Bell. But
Chipotle is good though.
Taco Bell over Chipotle?
It's like 3 days in a row Chipotle.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
I gotta say, I would do the 3 days of the Chipotle.
I wouldn't do 3 days of Taco Bell. I would pass away. I'm just saying that like every single day he would be like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to Chipotle," and I'm like, "You're gonna go to Chipotle." Like, I'm not working out and doing this. And you know that he was really into it because he didn't even go to LA Fitness or UFit or Planet Fitness. He had that good what's it called? Retro Fitness. Like that's where like the real pumpers work out or whatever. Yeah, the gym bros. So I don't know. He was on to something. Anyways, okay, back to Martha's Vineyard. I just had to tell my solo episode listeners that obviously we just saw like the most heated episode. I mean, Alex got jumped. Jasmine told us that her mom was a 2-time convicted felon. You were like, you were trying to get some shots. You know, Jordan was getting stuff off her chest. Y'all have been bringing it since the first episode of the show in general, but like especially this season, y'all are just like really getting to it. And I think it's because you guys are more comfortable with each other. Yeah. So Aaron had some questions about this latest episode, especially.
Yeah. I want to know, what are your thoughts on the whole Jordan and Alex situation, and also the whole Shanice and Alex situation, because it was like a little triangle.
Yeah, I think Jordan and Alex have had this weird beef for a long time. And it's really weird because Jordan and Alex have always gone back and forth. So you can't
Mhm.
really tell whether Alex obviously has love for everyone and he says things, but he doesn't have like malicious intent behind what he's trying to say. But that doesn't matter if it's Jordan. Uh,
Bless you.
Thank you. So they always have this weird relationship of like they're happy with each other, but at the same time, if like Alex closed a door wrong in her direction, like it might set Jordan off, and she would like tell him how she feels about it. Um, so to see the way the conversation also switched gears was like everyone's like, "Whoa, that was left field," but again, it was a dinner where everyone was airing things out. And I think that also has to do a lot with the fact that we didn't have a reunion before coming into the next vacation. Was
Mhm.
that people, even though we could have gotten it all out day one, episode one, there was like this like drip effect, right? So it's like all the drama from last year just slowly started like dripping into this year. And by the end of the season, everyone's good, the air is clear, but you kind of keep hearing conversations of like, why are we revisiting something that happened a year ago? And it's because we never got the chance to talk about it. We didn't talk about it in group text. We didn't talk about it, one-on-ones, reaching out to the person. Like what happened in the summer, we let it happen and let it be and then we just move forward. But now that we're having new conversations and a new summer share, we also had the ability to talk about the past and people would just like snap in an instant about things that happened in the past. Alex and Shanice, again, he didn't mean anything wrong. He was
Mhm.
actually trying to protect her. And we obviously know what happens. We didn't know what happened. We didn't know what it was like to be on TV. We didn't know what was going to be shared. We didn't know who was going to be looking into us. We didn't know how invested people were going to be in our backgrounds. And so, what he was trying to tell the house or tell people closest to Shanice was, hey, obviously this exists. We want you to be I want you to be able to control your narrative in case it does come out or in case it does become a conversation. I don't want you to be
Mhm.
blindsided by it because she may or may not have, you know, been aware of the fact that like, hey, people know about this. And I'm sure she does. She needs even though she comes off as a party girl, is very, very smart and she knows that that is obviously on the internet. But we also didn't understand that if we mentioned it, especially when big cameras weren't around, that it would still be something that has to be talked about. And so when it was talked about, now it's in the universe and we have to continue explaining it and going through this process. And so that's why you're also seeing this season so many different point of views and no one can put a pulse on whose fault is it that this conversation got brought up. And Alex is the fall guy on it because he was the one who got approached by it with it and then was like, yo, we gotta help her and let her know and said something. And so it's like you still really I don't even know the true origin of like how did Alex find this? Why did it get brought up to Alex? Who initially started Googling who?
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
know that Nick definitely caught some strays in
He was
the
like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
I
in the
could tell that that
crossings.
caught him completely off guard, and he was not expecting that.
Yo, like I had this
Mhm.
whole, we when we did the memes for Summer House, but what Jasmine said, I was just like, yo, what the fuck? But I had this whole concept in my head. I was like, gonna put you guys as like the Drake feud, and I was gonna make everyone a part of like Alex was gonna be Drake because he definitely got jumped, and
yeah.
like you were gonna be like us as like the audience because you're just like watching
I'm
shit.
just watching this shit happen.
Was Jordan going to be Rick Ross?
Jordan was gonna be Rick Ross.
Okay, very
Future
appropriate.
Future was Summer.
Hmm.
Okay. Metro Boomin was who would be Metro Boomin? Summer's personality. Like I didn't know that she was so outspoken. So I'll give her like she'll be Future and Metro Boomin. And then I guess Shanice could be who else is beefing with him? Nav or The Weeknd. And then I think that J. Cole would be Nick for sure, because Nick is like, I'm on your side, but also like, don't bring me in this shit.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think he can
And that's the
definitely
thing
be
is,
like the J. Cole of the group.
as guys this season, we made a pact before coming, like before the vacation started, like, yo, we're really gonna look out for each other this year because last year, it was kind of every man fends for himself. Even if we felt like one of the guys was kind of right in a way, we were like, that's your perspective, like you gotta own that. And this year we were more or less like, we can't let the girls just like gang up on us because at the same time, like while we're guys and we can't sit there and argue with a woman, that doesn't mean that we can't be like, no, no, I support my boy. This is the perspective he's coming from. And so we definitely tried to do that a little bit this year, but it didn't go over well. And so I think that's what Alex was trying to do by saying Nick and just like throwing him. And Nick was like, no, no, I don't.
He's like, you got my back. You know what happened,
Right.
remember?
Yeah.
And it should be easier because you guys are all in the same room. Which
Yeah.
initially, how did you feel about that room with all those damn beds?
At first, I was like, this is fucking disrespectful. Like, we are a bunch of grown men and we're sharing a bunk beds. And then, like, Noel's room had two beds in it. No one was sleeping in the other bed. Like, I was like, there's so much wasted space. The girls could be double bunking. Like, you guys spend so much time in each other's rooms and you end up spending the night together. Either way, it's like, why are we doing this? And then after it said it, and I was like, actually, this gives us a chance to escape from like the rest of the house. Like when shit would be popping off upstairs, we would just like one by one slowly go down there and we'd have our little den and we would just like laugh about what was going on. And then once we felt like things cooled off enough, we would go back up.
Man cave.
Yeah.
I love that. Did you feel like you had, because I know you mentioned earlier, since you guys didn't have the season 1 reunion, that there were some unresolved issues. Did you have any coming into season 2?
No, I didn't have any unresolved issues. I think the biggest thing for me was kind of my intentions in the way that I set the precedence of how I flirt and how we as a group were flirting. I was a little hurt afterwards to hear like how negatively it was received just because I tried to do it in the most respectful way that I could and be funny and, bros call dibs or whatever it was that set everyone down a spiral of how disrespectful I am. But that was the only thing where I just like truly wanted to understand, like, was I being disrespectful? And I was able to have conversations with different people in the house and they're like, no, like, we want you to know you're fine. People interpret things differently. Don't change you. Keep doing you. Like someone is going to love that about you. And eventually someone did.
Well, that's exactly why I liked these group of guys on this show. That both of you and Nick, like, okay, last season it was you were confronted with this whole situation and you handled it respectfully and you apologized if you offended, even though that wasn't your intention. And then this season with Nick, he straight up went, and even though I wouldn't have really like went in while they were sleeping and asked him like, hey,
with all the lights off, he's like, can I ask you something?
Like, what do you? But I really appreciate that, these are modern men trying to see like, how am I coming off? Especially because, Nick is he has a girlfriend, which you also have one, but he just wanted to make sure that he wasn't making anyone uncomfortable after that conversation. So a lot of men wouldn't even do that. They would just get like offended and be like, well, I didn't fucking do anything. So that was just good to see a different perspective. So speaking of girlfriends, the number one question when we told people that we were interviewing you that they wanted to know is Natalie beating your ass?
No, she's not being my ass.
And I was trying to tell them, no, he's like, you don't get the comedy. Like, it's like,
comedy
like the wife guy, like, oh, I can't, my wife, they're like, is everything okay at home? Like, you guys don't understand, like, the nuance.
It's okay. I get it. I'm like the baby, the little brother for everyone. So everyone's like genuinely concerned. But again, it's just me being humorous, especially about my relationship. She's someone who loves me, would never want me to embarrass myself, embarrass her. And so me saying that is me just being funny. I know it's probably not funny. She thinks it's funny. She doesn't think it's funny anymore now that everyone's all fucking worked up about it. But beforehand, she was like, yeah, ha ha ha. And I was like, yeah, ha ha ha.
And I love that moment that you had like with the whole text message situation when she was like, "Did you mean to send this to me?" And I'm like, "This shit happens when you
Yeah,
go out of town."
and that's the thing is like it was a little bit of miscommunication. I don't communicate very well, especially when it comes to like text message. And so it happens. I really truly wish people would stop pretending like they've never been in my shoes or her shoes and just like accept that these are all different elements of being in a relationship, especially if your partner was going on a vacation with a group of people that you did not know, that you were not familiar with. Like in the back of your mind, you're hoping everything is going well, but sometimes, those doubts creep in. And if someone sends you a weird text that doesn't make any sense, you're going to go, what the fuck? Are you talking to me?
Because I
Fuck
Because
do
you
that
got
all the
going on.
time. You without like how I am, Aaron. Like if a guy says something, and I don't even have a boyfriend, but like when I'm talking to someone and they say something weird, I'm like, haha, wrong bitch. Like, what are you
right.
talking about? So it's like that kind of energy. But we want to know, like, how did you meet her? I think that you said she lives in Miami. No, like we live in South Florida, so that's dope. How did you even cross paths and everything?
Yeah, so she born and raised in Miami, moved to Houston. Her dad found work there, and then ended up going to Texas State. From Texas State, moved to Austin. Kind of similar, same path. She does real estate as well. We met at a gym in Austin called The Collective. It's basically like a social performance club. It's like a lot of athletes and C-level executives go there, and we just happened to hit it off. We'd been passing each other for months, smiling, waving, and finally she just stopped me when I was walking past the recovery spot, waved at me and said, "Hey," and I was like, "Hi, are you talking to me?" And we hit it off. I gave her my number because she asked if I want to play pickleball with her the next day. And I was like, yeah, but I'm doing a speaking engagement right before that. So I can definitely, meet you there. Just text me the details. Next morning came, did the speaking engagement. She just happened to be sitting there front row supporting another friend who was another speaker at the event. And I opened up my speech with, I just want you guys to know if I botched this presentation, it's because this beautiful woman right here is sitting in front of me. And that was kind of like, she was like, oh, interesting. Like, that's wild. And I was like, yeah. And then afterwards, I approached her and I was like, so you never texted me about pickleball today. Like, it's cool if you don't want me to go, just let me know. And she was like, you never texted me back. And I was like, nah, I gave you my number. Let me see that you sent me the text. Sure enough, she sent me the text. I accidentally gave her my number wrong. I typed her digit wrong. And we played pickleball that day and have been attached at the hip ever since.
I love that.
That's
That's
a
so
cute
sweet.
story.
Romantic.
Yeah.
Did she see season 1 of Somewhere Else?
She saw season 1 and it definitely
No
made,
wonder. No
yeah,
wonder. Yep,
that
that was
it made
my.
it made a lot of things uncomfortable. I mean, even for me, I can only imagine for her. But we also did that,
Mhm.
in fairness, like we didn't know each other. She was seeing someone else while I was on the show. Like there was that gap, but at the same time, by the time the show came out, we had been in our relationship. I'd been posting about her, so people were kind of like, she knew what people were thinking. I didn't, because I was like, no, people are gonna know that we filmed this like 7 months ago, and she's like, no, they're not gonna care. They're gonna think that like you were seeing her and seeing me, and I'm like, why would people think that? Lo and
Because
behold,
they like drama.
yeah, lo and behold, everyone was like, oh, Amir was talking to Natalie the entire time. How dare he go on national television? Amir, da da da. And I was like, this is crazy again.
Well, at least you knew how to also move going into like the second season. So that's why
Yeah.
we see you bring that up, and that's dope. And then also, being able to kind of just like talk to Nick as a homeboy. It's like, hey, we both have partners.
Yeah.
So that was dope to
I
see
feel like
also.
this is the year and this is the season for the guys. Like, you guys are really stepping up to the plate, taking ownership, taking accountability, righting your wrongs.
We're trying to. I mean, they definitely don't make it very easy in the house to do so. But at the same time, like that's the only thing that we can do is like if we do something, say we're sorry, because it's not like anyone else in the house is doing that. but it's on us to kind of have that maturity, have that wherewithal to go, okay, I'm sorry that I did that. I'm sorry that made you feel that way, and then move on.
Boo, Aaron, why would you say that? Team girls, Team Barbie.
Proud of
Team
you
Barbie
guys.
You
versus
see,
No,
Team
you see what the girls are doing right now. Don't even come. Don't
I
even,
do. I do,
I
and I
mean,
can't help but notice it. And I'm like, wow, like, look at the guys. I'm so proud of y'all.
but
mm.
apparently that also makes us boring because everyone's like, these men are boring. Get new men, and I'm like, trust me, you don't want new men because
No, because
the
then we
shit
get
that we
people
go
like
through. Yeah.
Phil who's gonna like shit in the toilet and
Yeah,
fight
I'm like,
everyone.
I can only imagine like someone being absolutely cussed out by Jordan for something and then them not having their shit together and reacting in a way that is like confrontational. Granted, it make for great TV, but it's not. At the end of the day, we're still vacationing. Like, this is still
It's
us
uncomfortable. It'll
fun
be
together.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you guys, everyone talks about how they don't want us voting people. If you have people that you can't trust to handle confrontation, especially against another woman or a guy without
Mhm.
throwing hands or escalating to a way where you're like, that this person is scary, you don't want to be there.
Yeah. So speaking of, like, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, this is the last like house related question before we ask you about like BravoCon and
Yeah, yeah,
hanging
yeah.
out with Wes. But what did you think about? Well, we know that how you feel about how everyone feels about Phil, except Bria and Shanice. But how did you feel about the Mariah situation?
I thought the Mariah situation, I was fine with it because I knew what I had done wrong. I had been pretty public about the fact that I did a no-no and didn't like step in, and I wasn't like super ashamed of myself per se, but I was like, yeah, I realized like my part that I had in that situation. And I was like, yeah, Mariah can come back. Like, I don't have beef with her. It's not like she spit in my face. Like, she was just upset. She called me out, said, I would, you're not a man. You're fucking shady as shit. Da, da, da. And I was like, okay. I didn't think that that's what this was, but all right. And I was fine with her coming back. I knew that if she came back, there was probably going to be a conversation to be had, which again, I didn't want to have because I was just like, I would like to get through this because again, it's one thing. I don't want it to become another. But when it came to Bria and the way she felt about it, I was super perplexed because originally we had been talking about it because it had been an idea and she was okay with it. She said that she had made her amends with Mariah. And that, if Mariah does come into the house, they're coming as guests, Mariah and Phil. And if that's all they're going to be, then she has no problem with it. And so when the flip switched or the switch flipped, I was like, I think that's what took everyone back.
Mm. Okay, yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Like you basically already handled like there's no beef with Mariah, so you're cool with it. I think that like from my perspective, it's like if we can't have Phil, then we shouldn't be able to have Mariah, especially if her ticket like is already bought. So it was kind of like um Bria's feelings, even though sometimes Bria can be a bit much, that I could see.
The invalidation there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where a lot of it stemmed from. And that's why she said, like, I'm not going to let you guys sit here and punk me because for her in that moment, it was like a fuck you in the sense of we're all cool to bring Mariah in who physically put her hands on me, but Phil can't come in. And so it was like the situations, while they were completely different, they still held the same weight to her. And that's what matters is her interpretation and perception of that. And to say that I don't have any beef with Mariah, I don't have any beef with Mariah, right? So it's like the way that she might feel about me or the way that other people might think that we feel is completely different. But at the end of the day, like I did a very simple mistake of doing the laundry in the house because no one fucking picks up after themselves. And it ended up turning into something that was a cause of the way that Bria communicates and trying to test people, and Mariah saying, I'm not fucking scared of you. Right?
That's basically what happened. Listen, long story short, So I'm loving the season. We're loving this season, obviously. What is something that you can, without getting in trouble, obviously, what is something that we can look forward to seeing? Like, are we going to have any, or is anyone going to pop up? Is there going to be like a surprise? Like, do you get into it with anyone? Is something going to surprise us? Like, what
A,
can
B,
you
and
tell
C.
us?
A, B, and C. I can tell you that everything that you just said will occur in some form or fashion.
Hell yeah.
I would
So
love to hear
Hell
that.
it
yeah.
definitely, the season, to what I know and to what I remember, because once I leave that house, I basically put up this big giant wall to forget everything. Um, all of those things will happen, and everything kind of, we start to have more fun, but with more fun comes less fun.
Yeah, more drama, more money, no problems.
More drama. Yeah, more fun, more drama.
Okay, so you went to your first BravoCon, right? I think that was your first in
Yep.
November.
Yep.
How was that, and who was the Bravo star that you got like the closest to, or met and hung out with and vibe with the most?
Man, Andrea was really cool. He was the Bravo star. Andrea and Brad were the two that I just like got to hang out with, which is really cool. Because Andrea is like a supermodel. And so I was
Yeah.
like, that's so wild that this is what is connecting us currently to like one of America's top underwear models is a fucking TV show. And then me and Bradley were just connecting on some fitness stuff, and the fact that, we have our heads on straight and we're not like a majority of other cast members of other shows. But BravoCon was an experience. Like, I've never sprinted and had as much fun as I did in such a short time span. Like any other time I've partied, it's been like, a little party, casual. It was like gas pedal all the way from sun up to sundown. And then you went to bed and you did it again. And you did that for 48 hours.
Oh my God, it was just such a fun experience, obviously, for you
Those
guys
chicken
and
sliders. Oh
for
my
us.
gosh.
The chicken sliders, are you saying?
In
Yeah.
the VIP room, the Hilton VIP room where they
Yeah.
walk around and they
They had some good ass chicken sliders. Like,
no, it was
really
that pork
good.
belly. That pork belly was
No,
bussin'.
all of it.
Stood by the kitchen bussin'. Well, okay. I think that we asked all of our questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was my question for you. Do you guys feel like you need a reunion now for season 2?
Yeah, we definitely need a reunion. I think in order for us to have the summer that everyone wants to see, we have to mend a lot of bridges, burn some down. Like, there's just a lot of things that need to be done in order for us to, one, move as like a unified group, because right now there's so much division and it's all cliquey, and we support each other like family, but it doesn't feel like family. And maybe that's just because I'm not in New York. I'm just kind of experiencing things through the group text. But like the boy group, we're solid. Me and Preston, solid. I don't know what the relationships with other people. I know me and Shanice are really great. I'm someone who, if she needs advice, real life advice on work or influencing or whatever, she can reach out to. Bria, I support her and try and show up for her the best way that I can, even though she's either Germany, New York, California, wherever life takes her. But yeah, we've got to have a reunion. Otherwise, next season is just it's not gonna be it. It's not gonna be fun for anyone. It's not gonna be fun for the viewers.
Ooh, Andrew, you heard that? And you got to have a reunion because we also want to see y'all dress up. Like that's
Yes.
like the big thing
Yeah,
too.
that'll be. If we were to have a reunion look, we're about to all show up and just slay
Put
it.
that shit on.
I think
Yeah.
y'all also need Dr. Phil as like the co-host.
Yeah, we
Dr.
do
Phil.
need someone to be able to like mediate, kind of like, because what's going to end up happening is like three personalities are going to end up dictating the entire thing. And it's like no one's going to have a place to speak or express themselves, because the second you say something that's out of line for them, you're just going to be absolutely like shit on.
And that's why Dr. Phil comes in. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa,
I'm
whoa.
hoping if we do get the reunion that with the years and years and years of experience that Andy has with like hosting these, that he's able to help like mediate it and at least let other people like get their inputs in because man, sometimes with those dinners, it feels like a reunion because it'll just be it's supposed to be the whole table having a conversation, but then it turns into just two people. And then the rest of us just sit there like this.
But there
Well,
needs to
he
be a
has.
mediator because I think Andy's good, but there are moments where I think he's like, just let him talk. Just let
I'm just
him.
I'm gonna let him
Yeah.
suck it out.
And then at a
But
certain point, he's like, we have to
Vanderpump
move on. And I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
you didn't answer
I
what we
think you
need.
should do it, Aaron.
I
I feel like
would.
who's better than you? Because I'm biased. If I agree with someone, I'm like, nah, she got
I
to
think
punch it
we
up.
should both do it.
That'd be
I think
great.
we should both do it.
Oh my God, Barbie versus Oppenheimer. You'll do the boys, I'll do the girls.
I
And
love
we go
that.
plot and scheme. Okay, so you hung out. That's what I wanted to get out before we finish. Thank you for actually like coming and taking the time and like answering all of our questions. You hung out with Wes, who is like Bravo's, new sweetheart. Everyone loves him.
Yeah.
You guys, I think you were at his Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
How was that experience? Did you guys hang out with anyone else from like the Summer House or Bravo universe?
No, so me and Wes, we ended up hanging out because I shot him a text. We had exchanged like DMs, especially when I took an L to him on the
One of the accounts, right? Or no?
yeah, it's like the March Madness. So when I took an L to him, I was like, yo, like if I'm gonna lose to anyone, I want to lose to this guy. Like he's got the personality, he's got everything. And so we started showing each other love on comments and stuff from there. And when we all did the who would you trade from Hamptons to Vineyard, and I was like Wes, and he was like, let's make it happen. Um, so I hit him up when I was on my way to New York, and I was like, hey man, if you want to grab a drink, like let me know. He told me to pull up to his Watch What Happens Live, be his guest, sit in the audience with him. And I was like, dude, say less. And afterwards, he was like, let's grab some lunch. And so it was just him and I the entire time. Didn't get the chance to, do some more what is that called?
Crossovers.
Crossovers. And we just sat and we talked. We talked about my experience on the Vineyard, talked about his experience on the Hamptons, what he wants from it, what he wants out of life, what I want from it, what I want out of life, and just kind of like helped two guys just make sure that their heads are on straight and like they're able to survive this experience.
I love that.
Love that. Because we I don't know if we formally adapted it, but I was calling the other summer house white summer house for like a week because we call y'all black summer house.
I figured that's what everyone does. It's like for a while when we first came out, everyone was like, no, Summer House Hampton, as Summer House Martha's Vineyard, and everyone was like, no, Summer House, Black Summer House, and I was like,
Yeah.
you can't tell the people that they're wrong.
Yeah. But I've tried to, like, when I put it in writing, well, in the meme I put Black Summer House, but in the writing I'm trying to put Summer's House Martha's Vineyard, so when people search it comes up and like it's a whole branding thing that I'm trying to do here.
It's
but
our
when
fault
I'm talking
because
about
we have a habit. We're like Black Summer House.
Black Summer House. Just one question without getting you in trouble. When you were with Wes, right? Okay, and he was texting people. He had to be taking some calls possibly. Did you hear someone that sounded like our friend Sierra on the other line?
I didn't. We had a conversation about that, and I think you guys are just gonna have to wait and see because it definitely unfolds for you guys.
Okay.
You just kind of have to wait and see on where they stand. But
okay, perfect. That's enough. That's enough. I just didn't want to get you in trouble. So I just sly ask, So, okay, what can we support you with? Do you have anything coming up? Like, what is there to look out for outside of the show? We're supporting the show every single week. You already know that. You ain't got to tell us that. But, like, what else are you up to?
Yeah, other than, what I've got going on my socials _, Amir Lancaster _ me and my little brother are starting a podcast. We are just making it. Oh shit! It's called We Are Just Making It, and it's about talking to other 20, 30 something year olds in our generation and just like how people are surviving nowadays, and like what does it take to make it? What does it take to be successful? What are the stories, hardships? Other than that, just showing love on my page. Anytime I, do an activation for a watch party here in Austin, it'd be great to have you guys repost it. But that's about all I've got going.
And we
Yeah.
will. So
Just
make
tag
sure,
us.
like, you let us know when you guys come out. Do you guys have an Instagram page for it yet?
Not yet. We're in the
Okay.
process of getting everything created, and we've got a couple of episodes already filmed, but we're just trying to make sure that we have everything together
Yeah.
and deliver it in one foul swoop versus like piecing it out.
That's so
that makes
dope.
sense.
Well, thank you so much for giving us the time to talk to you, for answering all of our questions thoroughly, for having a sense of humor,
Yes.
for letting us know what to look out for, and giving us that real insight. Y'all heard him. Follow him on the gram whenever he's doing something. Make sure y'all show up, and make sure you guys like and share, and please keep talking about this show. And I really want to tell my Housewives fans and my regular Summer House or White Summer House fans and my Vanderpump Rules fans, give this show a chance, especially because we are on the second season now. So you have a full season to binge, and now you have new episodes coming out every week. So there's no better time than right now to try to get on the wave, because if you're not, you are missing such
And
a
it's
good show.
honestly no excuse. You're going to jail if you don't watch.
Yeah,
There you
but
go.
personally, I will come and take
Yeah.
you to jail. So there's
Like
that.
the Room Raiders van. Like, I will pick you up out of your bed and throw your ass in jail. So watch the show, please.
All right, guys, we will be back for the pop culture episode. We definitely got to talk about that new X-Men 97 shit that went down, Jersey Shore and Abbott Elementary. Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.